friends and family.
It's all about sharing a feast and cheers.
It's always been happy cause the children are dear.
It's all about peace every time of the year.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end.
If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time, with things together.
It's all about the family. It's all about TNC. What? It's all about the family. Don't fret, don't sweat. You know what it is, cause you know and I know we'll be together again.
We'll go together to be together. It's Christmas time once again, and you know how we'll begin. Spread love and receive blessings from above.
If only I could see your face again, not behind the screen at the other end. If only we could party, kick back your boots, just let me.
Wishing Christmas time we'd be together again.
Wishing Christmas time we'll be together again.
The new channel. The new channel. Hashtag TNC Now.
The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following shows are those of the host, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to the new channel. Our passion transforms the community channel that sees all things new. My name is Jennifer Nuya, live streaming from Cavite, Philippines. You're watching Stories from the Fringe. For those who are tuning in for the first time, Stories from the Fringe aims to push for more diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in all aspects of our lives. We are committed to creating a world where individual differences like gender, class, ability, among others, are not only seen and understood but also celebrated. We believe that we can all be a part of this collective vision. To make the most of our time together, we encourage you to turn off all distractions, prepare to take notes, mental win, and just be fully engaged with our guest today. Today, I'm happy to welcome to our show Esplana-Manansala. Apple is the co-owner and vice president of PuzzleBox, BPO Incorporated, a decade-old 24/7 operating BPO offering digital and intelligent outsourcing solutions based out of BGC in Manila. She also currently sits as the president and chief executive producer of the new Channel Media Corporation, or TNC. It is an online new media platform that was launched during the global pandemic. And as I have always mentioned in our show every Thursday, TNC showcases Filipino talent and global influencers that promote cultural intelligence and ingenuity. We have a lot of shows being streamed around Asia and US aside from the Philippines. Apple is a 20-year-old marketing and business development executive who has been instrumental in the growth of these companies on branding, strategy, and business development. Apple, welcome to the show.
Hi, morning, Jen.
Good morning. Thank you so much for dropping in on the show. How are you?
I'm okay. Oops, sorry. I'm okay.
Awesome. What has been keeping you busy these past few days?
So many things. I've been school. School is very busy for my son, and also on TNC. We're preparing for TNC and also for PuzzleBox. We're preparing for some face-to-face Christmas parties in the coming days, and we're also preparing for so many charity works that we've been doing left and right for TNC and also for PuzzleBox this December. So yeah, those are the things that's keeping. I mean, household chores. It's also keeping me busy. Work. It's year end, so we're checking on status of clients. Yeah. So those are the things that's been keeping me busy. Also, review of business, review of plans for next year. So, yeah, na-realize ko nga December, ano na ba tayo to? December 15th, halfway through for the month. And how many days before Christmas? Oh my goodness. Hindi naman. 10. Oh my gosh, hindi pa tayo sure. 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm not yet done with my Christmas shopping, so I'm still fixing. I don't even know if I can still squeeze it in, but online shopping for sure for some important people. But we really do a lot, quite a few charity works in December because that's where we concentrate naman on, telling people that they can course through their charity works with us. Or through us, no, also on TNCs. I'm looking forward to meeting you, all of you guys, face to face next week, no, when we get here. Again, kasi we saw each other naman but na-realize ko nga, Jen, you're already on your season 3, episode 37, and this is the first time that I ever got into your show. 30, you had 36 episodes with other people, and this is the first time. Right? Tama ba ako?
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, thanks for having me on your show. And to all those who are following you and who have supported you by being on your show, by being a guest, or by watching at this early stage of the conversation, thank you so much. And thanks, Jen, for the trust.
Yeah, and also thank you for trusting me and the many content creators and also the hosts of the different shows on DNC. Of course, you are no stranger to media, right? So, again, na-mention natin kanina that you have been into business development strategy and media. But this one is a new form, shall I say, live streaming, right? So what enabled the shift for you?
Well, I wouldn't like what I was telling you at the backstage. I wouldn't really consider it as a shift, Jen, because even back in high school, I've always been in media. I'm part of the school paper, and then in college, I was also part of the university's paper. One of my first jobs in the Philippines is, well, in the Philippines talaga. So yeah, because I had jobs overseas. But one of my first jobs is actually as a PR officer. So as a PR officer, my main task is to make sure that I work with our PR team. I write articles for our brands, and I help also write co-write it together with some of those who we get for our brand. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also get interviews on radio, TV, even on print, no, to represent
Mm-hmm.
several brands when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And even through time, I still continued to do that. And it's just that it wasn't for me until it's PuzzleBox. So even when we had PuzzleBox less than 10 years ago, or in 2023 to be exact, I was already being interviewed on some other occasions for our company. So if you Google about me, there are some interviews for with me in different online platforms, and I get interact. Because it's a business process outsourcing. So it's a different interview. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different channel, but it's also the same. No? It's also the same. So all these things that we're doing is not new to me. Except
Mm-hmm.
this time around, I'm the owner of the business, and I'm not the
Mm-hmm.
one often being interviewed. So yun na
Mm-hmm.
nga, I just get to be part of your show lang, on special occasion or special theme like today. But otherwise, I've always been on the other end. Ito, similar to what we're doing. No, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
this is a US platform, sometimes this is a Singaporean platform, and then they'll interview me through video, and then they'll transcribe that, they'll put it on their platforms. Prior to prior to PuzzleBox as well, I have been doing uh so many business development tasks. Like I was with SM Supermalls, and then when I joined Adobo Magazine, I was the head of sales and marketing there. So we do a lot of things to make the magazine a differently accepted by different brands. So yeah, so I honestly see no difference, except this one is too exposed. Like, you have to
Mm-hmm.
tell your story, personal story, and all of that. And what they do more and more is becoming really clear to me. These are real life conversations talaga. No,
Mm-hmm.
that not everybody is doing. So I think that's our main thing, and that's our niche talaga, na we allow people to get into our hearts, into our brains, kasi wala tayong script. No, wala tayong script. Very rare that we're reading something, except if it's really about the show and we just want to emphasize something. But everything else is very raw. Everything else is what we feel about it now. So this is podcasting in a level that's no edit. So if people want to be able to hear what we have to say and get into who we really are, eto yon. Wala tayong sasabihin na hindi manggagaling sa puso at sa isip natin. Kasi on the spot siya. Like right now, I don't even know what questions are you going to throw me. But, comparing it to when you are, for example, representing a brand, or like you're coming into a mainstream interview, they'd normally either ask you what
Mm-hmm.
questions do you want to be asked, or they'll give you questions already. Sa atin, it's more go with the flow, diba? It's more how you feel about that theme, no?
Mm-hmm.
And then because we know that we want to release real conversation and actual conversation so that more people can relate to us.
Mm-hmm.
Parang mas nagiging normal siya. It becomes natural. It becomes who we really are, and that's why people can relate to the conversation.
Yeah, very well said. Kasi ito, katulad niya, nito, hindi naman, wala naman tayong script, di ba?
Yes, exactly.
Yun, so kung ano yung nakikita ninyo na si Apple, naririnig niyo na si Apple, siya yun, siya yun, siya yun. Walang halong pagkukunwari, walang bahid na, ha?
Mahirap tong ginagawa natin, Jen. Mahirap yung ginagawa mo. Not many people appreciate it, and not many people understand it na mahirap siya. No, it's hard to open yourself genuinely to other people, and it's also hard to speak to people this naturally, as natural as possible, without yung hindi ka nagbabakel, 'di ba? Kaya sometimes, talagang nagkakaroon ng lull moment, or nagkakaroon ng moments na hindi masyadong connected So, hindi super connected yung pinag-uusapan dun sa topic talaga. Kasi nga, these are really what's happening. Yung real life what's happening. As compared to other content that you see on social media, Jen, na after recording, i-edit pa yan. So, when we edit pag in-edit down, tinatanggal yung mga unpurposely dapat hindi nasabi. 'Di ba? Dito, hindi tayo makakapagtanggal ng any content kung ano yung pinag-usapan natin. Likely yun na yung lalabas natin sa stream.
That's very true. All right. So na-share mo na you are, again, we just established the fact that this is nothing new for you. But for those people who would like to dive into live streaming, into media, what is your $1 million advice for them? Hindi naman para maging successful agad kasi 'di ba success takes time and effort. But how can they have a good start? Yon.
Nako, ang hirap sagutin yan, Jen. But I'll answer this very practical. Choose the best business. Choose your business partners.
All right. Would you like to elaborate on that?
It wasn't an easy start for me, but things are better. But in any business that you do, whether something similar to TNC or not, it's always the best option to think of the things that you're doing twice, thrice, 4 times, even 10 times before you jump into it. Kasi hindi lahat ng gusto mong tulungan ma-appreciate that you were just doing it to help them. Not all people that you have enabled will look back at it and look at it as something na ginawa mo for them. So, because iba-iba tayo, that's normal. Iba ka, Jen, iba ako. So, and we have our own differences. We have our strength, we have our weaknesses. And again, because of the difficulty of doing this thing that we're doing face-to-face, nawawala yung 100% authenticity of the human engagement, which is very important. You, Jen, as someone who's doing HR, I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm saying. I've also had experience in HR for a while. And when you're handling a business and you have people counting on you or you have employees, even if you're not the HR, as the owner of the business, you have to be the HR as well. No, you have to learn how to manage the HR as well. So, I guess yun yung $1 million lesson to me. Choose your partners, choose your business partners, choose right. You can't choose perfectly kasi you will only be able to experience all the good and the bad when you're already in that relationship. But if you have the choice, then choose properly. And then when you're into the business already, the $1 million advice is like, whatever function you have, even if you're the owner, you have to know where to stand or sit on as part of the HR team. A lot of people are could be saying, di pala a lot of people, maybe a lot of people have misconception of me being strict and straightforward. But because at work I'm like that. But the human resource, I don't know if many people will also validate this, but I hope, but the human resource component there is that I am the different person when it's not at work. I treat the work seriously because that's our bread and butter. That's the thing that will help us get by. So if you're not gonna take it seriously, you take it seriously, but at the same time, you know when to have fun. That's how I do it. So a mistake will always be taken as a mistake, no matter how big or small it is. You can shrug off, of course, the small ones, but there's some small mistakes kasi that becomes big in terms of impact. So if you're looking at the things that you're doing on a business perspective all the time, then, whatever small things can make an impact to the business. So yeah, you have to be part of the HR process, and you just have to stick to what you believe has already worked to the other things that you're doing. Kasi Jen, another $1 million information. Whether you're working for a company or when I was still working in the company, in a company, which I've done for a long time, no, for half of the time na nag-work ako. And the time when I'm the one naman managing it and helping, employing people as well, pareho lang dyan eh. It's just the same. It's a matter of perspective and it's a matter of your choice to be where you are. So, ako, ang perspective ko, even if I own the business, I'm still an employee of the business. I still have to work doubly hard, just like how I worked when I was working for a company. Kasi when you're working for a company, of course, you will be assessed. So, you have to work your best, di ba? Para maganda yung performance mo. So, in the same way, when you're already at your business, you will do the same kasi you're already wired that way. Hindi magbabago yon. Akala ko before it can change, Jen. Baka it's lighter, when you're working for your own company. But when when I had that experience already, hindi pala. Nasa sayo pala yon kung kailan mo gustong maging lazy, kung kailan mo gustong maging hardworking. Kung gusto mo maging pwede na, kung gusto mo maging okay, nasa sayo yon. So if you want na okay lagi, hindi magbabago yon kasi ikaw pa rin yun eh. You're still the one doing it. So regardless if you are doing it for a company or for for a company you are employed, or if you're the one employing people or you own the business, pareho lang siya. Kasi ikaw pa rin yung gumagawa. And to me, I say that because first-hand experience ko yon. Nung mas bata-bata tayo sinasabi, ang workaholic mo naman, ganyan, puro ka work, ganyan. So, pero nung may sarili ka ng business, masyado namang nakatutok sa business, puro business na lang inatupag. Di ba? Magkaiba lang yung declaration. But if you look at it on context, pareho lang siya. So, all of those things that we're saying and that we're doing, it's our choice why we're doing it. If you want to stay up late because you want to finish our task, it's our choice. But isa lang yung sasabihin ko, especially for younger people, no? Nasa millennial pa naman tayo, Jen, di ba? Pero sige, let's talk about younger millennials and the Gen Z. Even if you stay longer in a workplace, for example, or if you stay long for work because you think it's needed, trust me, 5-10 years from now, you'll realize you will be the one looking and appreciating people who are doing that already. And that will make a big difference pag medyo nandun ka na sa top. Kasi hindi mo na mababalikan yung mga ginagawa mo ngayon pag nandun ka na sa top. Meaning, pag ikaw na yung manager, when you're the one handling the team already. Or in my case, if you're the one handling the business already, hindi mo na mababalikan yung mga dati mong ginagawa. Pero, one thing is for sure, you can show other people or even to yourself na lang, kahit no proving to other people dyan kasi hindi ka naman, you don't exist naman supposedly to please other people, di ba? But yourself and your family and your creator. So, you will come to a point where you'll tell yourself, kaya ko gawin yan kasi nagawa ko yan before. So, kung hindi mo siya gagawin ngayon, kumbaga kung hindi mo siya pagpapaguran ngayon, later on in life, when you're already there, you'll be the one to be asking a lot of things kasi hindi mo siya pinagdaanan. So late nights, weekend work, name it. I've gone through all of that. Yung kailangan mo sometimes ipagpalit yung personal time mo for work. Yeah, but it'll pay off eventually. Anything that you put your heart on, anything that you decide to, give your 100%. It'll have a good effect in you later on. Tsaka, isa pa dyan, di ba? Gagawa ka na rin lang ng isang bagay. Dapat gawin mo yun 100%. I think yun yung isang bagay na hindi ko masyadong nagawa on the first year of TNC. Hindi ako 100% on the first year of TNC. On the second year of TNC, I became more or less 100%. And up to now, we're 100%. That's probably why you're saying, and some people, modesty aside, are acknowledging na kahit pa paano, people are beginning to trust us already and people are beginning to appreciate those that we have accomplished in the short period of time that we've actually exist as a business.
Thank you, Apple. Maraming mga tao ngayon, especially yung mga kabataan, they feel na when they are stressed or feel overwhelmed dun sa trabaho nila, sasabihin na parang mas gusto ko pa maging boss na lang ng sarili ko. Magtatayo na nga lang ako ng negosyo kasi I don't want to work 9 to 5. But in reality, at hindi nila nare-realize until they set up their own business, hindi lang pala 9 to 5 ang job mo. Minsan 24/5, 24/6 kasi ikaw lahat. Tama yung sinabi mo, di ba? You are not only a co-owner of the business, but you have to learn all the facets. Pwede kang, dapat mo pag-aralan yung financials, human resources, minsan sales, para kasi lalo na kung startup ka pa lang at nag-iisang katawan ka or dadalawa lang kayo, wala namang ibang gagawa niya kundi kayo-kayo lang din. So parang USB lang yan, plug and play, 'di ba? O hindi ako pwedeng ngayon sa sales call, ikaw muna. O hindi ako pwede sa we need to create this depth na for the client. Ay, hindi ako masyado magaling dyan, o ikaw na, 'di ba? So yun yung kailangan natin na maging strong work ethic.
Yun yung second to the list ko, Jen. 'Di ba? Sabi ko kanina, the first is you have to learn if you want to get into business. Actually, kahit nagtatrabaho ka, the first thing that you need to know is what's the structure of the company you're getting into. Ano ba yung values formation na matututunan mo dito? So, of course, HR 'yon. 'Di ba? Like HR doesn't have to be yung malaki ba yung HR department, yung gano'n. Hindi 'yon. It's really more of look at what's the HR structure on what has been found of the foundation. Like for example, in PuzzleBox, we have a 31 benefit extended to our employee, 31 list of benefits extended to our employee. And that's one of the first things that we did on our first year as a business. So if you're telling me visioning of 2023, alam ko dadating tayo dyan. Let's say for TNC, wala pa tayong ganyan. Like, I haven't really asked, as you were saying earlier, we can even do, strategic planning for the shows. I do that, Jen, to be honest with you. I do that for brands that I consult, that who gets me as a consultant. I do that for them, and I do that also for PuzzleBox. So there is no reason why all these modules that I have cannot be implemented to the shows on TNC. But going back to what I'm saying earlier, that's the second rule, or the second thing that you need to learn if you want to get yourself into the business. So number one is HR. So think about it muna. Ano ba yung gusto mong mangyari dyan? Gusto mo ba mag-isa ka lang? I'm sorry to say, but to me, every person na isa ka lang, wala kang empleyado, is a business, but it's actually a consulting business. Wag mo masyadong gawing larger than life yung negosyo mo kung mag-isa ka lang. No offense meant to those who are freelancing or like doing it because kaya nila. You will not realize how it is to really become an employer unless you are already putting, money on the bank of other people and paying for their SSS and all their taxes. Because if you're an employee, Jen, mas malaki yung share mo sa mga benefits na to ng mga empleyado. So, in fact, when we started PuzzleBox, this is one of the things na talagang pinupush namin. Kasi hindi lahat binibigay sa'yo yan eh. And let's just talk about SSS. You pay, let's say, for example, just for the context, you pay 500 pesos. The company pays 1,500 for you. That's how much it is. So if you do not know that on HR perspective, hindi mo makikita kung gaano ka-importante yung ginagawa mo as an employer. So to those employees na nagre-reklamo na alam mo yun, company na lang yung lumalaki, yung sweldo nila hindi, you have to understand those things. You have to make your employees understand that their salary is not just your obligation to them. Number two, you need to house them. If you are not paying any rent or like if you have a property, kasi you need to dedicate a space for work, right? So you can call yourself a business, but if it's just you and then you're just working from home, yes, it's a business. It could be a legitimate business, but it's not the business where you'll say, you'll grow with X number of people. Kasi again, yung factor dyan, yung magre-rent ka ng space, magbabayad ka ng security deposit sa space, ipapaayos mo yung space, may fit out ka, etc. Investment yon. So your employees should realize that you need to get, a portion of getting, yung investment mo back to you or back to the company in a period of time. Kaya kailangan magtrabaho kayo lahat. Kaya kailangan pupunta yung money that you're earning dun sa mga factors na yon. Marami siya eh. Like, you can't say first client, first deal, mare-recover mo yung expense mo in fit outs. Hindi. You have to spread it, diba? So that's part of the business model that you need to think about and you need to plan for. So that's why number 2 ko is, kumbaga, sales and marketing. That's very important. If you're a president of the company, you have to know how to market your product and your company. If you are the janitor in the company, you also have to know how to answer. Pag may nagtanong, ano bang ginagawa niyo sa company niyo? Automatic yon, dapat alam nila lahat. So, if your client is local, ganyan. So I conduct this as a training even before, even as a marketing professional, I do it. Because every little employee that you have in your organization should know how to answer when someone asks, ano yung ginagawa nyo? Excuse me. Ganon. Hindi pwedeng may mamimiss out na hindi nakakaalam o hindi nakakaintindi. So, yeah, it's still a long way for us on TNC Gen. If you've been, if you're understanding, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying as HR professional, but there's still so many things that we need to do. There's still a lot of gray areas that we need to fill in, but hopefully very soon we'll be able to fill in those gaps.
All right. Thank you for sharing those, highlighting the different things that a starting person, not only in live streaming, business, but in other industries as well. So we'll go for a short break, and then when we will come back, we will zero in on some of the accomplishments that we have done for 2022, and hopefully we'll be able to have at least a basic outline of what are projects intended for 2023. So keep tuning in, dear viewers. We'll be right back. The new channel is an online alternative media platform that for people on the go. Please watch all our shows as seen on screen. Imagine having your own show, your own playlist, your own content, but we make it easier for you. TNC aims to transform the lives of our viewers through engaging, authentic, and original content. Our channel is a responsible, global 24/7 platform that showcases Filipino talent, global influencers, cultural intelligence, and ingenuity. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your Thursday mornings with us. Stories from the Fringe is live streamed every Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. You can watch live or on replay via Facebook or YouTube. Follow us on IG. Listen to us on Spotify. We are also available on Apple Podcast. Just search hashtag at TNC Now. For sponsorships, please email now at thenewchannel.com or send us a DM. Enjoy these life-changing shows because we made them just for you. Welcome again to the show. Earlier, we were just chatting with Apple Esplana-Manansala. So for those who are tuning in, again, Apple is the current president, and chief executive producer of the New Channel Media Corporation. So she shared about the things that she feels beginning live streaming professionals or other business professionals who would like to start their own business initiatives. Several things that they need to keep in mind so that they can start on a good footing. And she also said that we really need to do everything 100%, even if we're doing it for ourselves or for other employees or for other people, our employers. And always choose the right partner. So let's call in again, Apple. Welcome back again, Apple.
Hi, Jen. I'm back.
All right. So let's discuss now. What are the things that you are most proud of what TNC has accomplished in 2022?
Yes, Jen, thank you. So I want to pick up on what you said and what I said earlier as well. I said choose the right partners, right? And at this point, I know I have the best and the right partners through the show producers and the show hosts like you. I know that the vision and the mission that you have for your show and also for TNC is aligned. That's why we're still here and we're still doing the show together. So that's what I meant when I said uh, you choose the right partners. No, you have to have the same values and you have to have the same reason for doing things because that will make your life easy. And that's one thing that I have accomplished in 2022. You know, I was able to see all of you in May in person for the first time after been working for more than a year. And it is really such an accomplishment. So, and I've had personal relationships with all of you beyond just video conferencing and beyond just seeing each other on screen, which is very important and one of the highlights of my year and also one of the highlights of having TNC. It's like you have your community growing for a common good, you know, and that's one thing that I'm really very proud of that we have accomplished together. It's not one thing that I have accomplished on my own. It's one thing that we have accomplished together, you as one of the representatives of the hosts and the KOLs on the show on the channel, and also the team behind the, you know, the channel. You know, we had a few transition on the team, but I'm really proud that people have stayed and people are beginning to see the right fitting for the jobs that they have on TNC. Like what I always say, this is not just job for us. To me, this is really charity. So, which makes it even more impactful in terms of what you're doing. And second, this is also something that is becoming a stairway to heaven. Like you just use the channel to channel positivity and to help more people who are in need. And that should go a long way, right? With regards to your plans, with regards to the businesses that you're doing. And I couldn't think of anything more than that to accomplish, for the year for TNC. And then for the other businesses, I feel like it's not yet enough. I'm sorry, excuse me for that. Can you hear it?
No,
Someone
not
is
really.
no. Hang on a sec. I have to tell people that someone is knocking on our door, but I'll continue. Hang on a sec. May nag-doorbell. There. So, what else? What else have we accomplished in 2022? What else? Another accomplishment is that my son went back to face-to-face school for 2022. So it's been a challenge for many parents like me to to you know to help our children study from all online for the past 2 years. Especially my son was transitioning from preschool to grade school. So it's not easy to jump from senior kinder to grade 3. So parang hindi naman nawala yung 2 years. Pero syempre, it's a lost opportunity for them to play more, to enjoy more school, and to appreciate, the relationship with their classmates and also with their teachers. So, but the accomplishment is that, we're at it again. We're back at it again, and the kids and especially my son is pumped again to go back to school and create genuine friendships with his peers and also create relationship with his teachers. What else are the accomplishments for 2020? So many new shows have streamed, and so many shows that has started with us came back in 2022 as well. So it's such an energized year for us. I feel like there's so many things that we have accomplished, and not only that, you see more of me as well on the on-site events that we have been doing. And of course, for those people who I was talking to from the early stage of TNC in 2020 up, and now lang sila naging part, like in an interview or like in an event, sila yung nag-allow sa atin to participate, or they're the ones who invited us. Of course, to me, Jen, that's a big accomplishment. So it means that whatever hard work we have done the past more than 2 years is being acknowledged already somehow. And wala, papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part eh. We haven't really done, I mean, we've done so much already during the pandemic, but it's not yet how impactful it will be if we had the chance to do things face to face, just like what we're doing the past 3 months pa lang. Career-wise, of course, to be awarded during the pandemic, because I received an award early this year, mid this year, as an MSME hero, na hindi naman ako part ng organization na yon, but they've acknowledged what I have somehow accomplished during the time of pandemic. So that's one of the accomplishments as well. And being able to represent TNC for the first time in a few international engagements, like when I judged for the one in Germany and Sweden, and then when I went to Singapore for the first time wearing TNC, as a work, as a job, that's something, that's something for me, because that was a huge convention, and medyo big time yung mga kasabayan ko doon for the broadcast Asia. So hopefully we'll be able to do more of that next year. With God's grace, He will be able to bring brands and companies who will support us and who will support our organization, and more people to trust us, so that we can do so much more. Of course, to be also engaged pala, Jen, 2 times, for huge blockchain events this year, the one in MNI, and that even includes the, what do you call this, the the young talented people that
Mm-mm.
they chose from the Philippines, Vietnam, and Thailand. So to be able to engage with them and to receive the trust also from that organization or that company, syempre is something also. It's also a milestone for us this year. And of course, the Philippine Blockchain Week, medyo big din yun because it's the first milestone here in the Philippines. And TNC being part of it is something else as well. And so many more, ang dami. Like, we were part of the launching of the first ever Cancer Institute in the Philippines. What else? So I feel like talagang medyo hati yung dati kasi when I represent myself as puzzle boxes. So ngayon I think nakikita na rin ng mga tao that I'm half puzzle box and also TNC. I wish I can do more for puzzle box, and I plan to do that also for 2023 because I know that it's needed. It's the company that's been really helping TNC grow wherever it is. And of course, I need to be able to give back also to our mother company.
Yeah. So many accomplishments and so many awards, which are rightly deserved naman. Kasi, di ba, it's not very easy na hindi, well, this was the first time that we had this pandemic and everyone was really fearful, worried, anxious, never knowing what to expect. We don't know how to go about our lives. Bigla tayong parang the rug was pulled under us, right? So for some people to come together and say, let's do something. Para yung mga tao, instead na nagwawalo lang sila sa fear nila, they can be not only entertained, but they can learn something, right? They can grow despite dun sa pandemic. And that's the reason why we have all these accomplishments. I am reminded of a quote that they said, build and they will come. You know, you just do your own thing and your own drive. Those people, as you have mentioned, whose values, whose goals and purpose in life, they will be attracted to you. You don't even have to beg na, please join me, right? They will be the one saying, oh, she's doing something great. I want to be a part of that, right? I want to be one of those people who are working on meaningful and impactful projects aimed at improving the lives of people around us. So I think that's the reason why exponential din yung, shall I say, exponential din yung growth ng TNC eh. 'Di ba? Hindi naman natin mapagkakaila 'yon. Just from one show biglang naging 40 shows, 'di ba? And as you have mentioned, many more are coming. Now, for the next, of course, we are now several days away from New Year. What is the most important thing that you would like to create for 2023?
I think I want more people to understand and appreciate what TNC is coming from me directly. I think that's already a must for me now. And yeah, that's one thing that I want to accomplish in 2023, that people appreciate that what we're doing on TNC is just rolling out good things. You know, it may sound ideal for some people, but we shouldn't allow negativity to get through this, because whatever we have done from the beginning and up to now is just really to help other people. On my perspective, that's how I've been doing it. And so I shouldn't allow other people to stop me from continuously helping through this platform. And I wish that I will be able to get equipped also to battle whatever negativity there is, because just like any other businesses, lagi namang merong challenge, you know. And as long as your goals and objective for the business is clear, I think, and as you said, all, you know, they will be attracted because of what we're doing, because it's just for the good of other people. With the few confirmed partnerships that we will have in 2023, I'm sure it'll put weight to what we are doing because the partnership with a US company, the partnership with a Thai company, and those are things that I've always wanted and I've always envisioned for TNC since the very beginning. I don't know if you remember, Jen, I keep on saying this: TNC will go global, and that has always been clear to me from day one. From the time that I was writing the business plan for this, I knew this will be something that will help many people, many Filipinos abroad, not just here in the Philippines. Because I know also that it's very challenging to face competition here in the Philippines. Sometimes they don't know you yet, they don't understand yet what you're doing, and you're already being challenged. But abroad kasi you have opportunities, similar opportunities of any with anyone, no? Parang I'm not saying the competition is much fairer abroad, but I think as Filipinos we are more observed as someone who's creative and very good abroad. And so I want to be able to contribute to that through the good things that we're doing on TNC. And like what I always say nga, as long as there is a Jen Nuya who trusts that there is something that I can contribute, that the company, the group, the community that we're building, the company that we're growing will contribute to her growth, I see no reason why we should stop what we're doing. Of course, there will be some developments in thinking that not everything will fit in, not everything will be for that purpose, but I'm sure we will figure out how to make things happen. The best thing that I have been experiencing this past few days, Jen, aside from the interviews no left and right, I didn't realize this eats up so much time nga pala. I guess it's when you talk to someone at this point, when you talk to someone at this point, you know that people are validating the hard work that you have done. Sometimes nakakaiyak kasi you just don't know. Everyone was watching. You just don't know how hard their work is. Doing all of this virtually and having to do everything, having to check everything, even sometimes super late night. I do remember when we went I forgot to mention that, being part of BICON 2022 is one of the highlights also of 2022. Ang dami kasi yung going to Cebu and being given a chance to be with content creators in the Philippines, the legitimate content creators, yung mga kilala, yung mga sikat, and them acknowledging who we are, nakakataba ng puso. Ang sarap ng feeling to be acknowledged and to be said that, it's our platform is appreciated. So all the hard work that you've done, all the sleepless nights, all the headaches and the heartaches that you faced and that you're still continuously facing, at some point it's getting clearer that you're doing it for a better purpose. You're doing it to solve a puzzle that's really bigger than you. And there are times when all you gotta do is just pray so that you keep your peace of mind and that you can focus on the other things that you're doing, and that you can laugh at mistakes, and that you can still trust the people you're working with or you're dealing with, even if sometimes they do things differently versus what they have said. I think it's just because it's part of the journey. And so for 2023, I want to look at the experience as the same, no? Not everything will fall into the right place pa rin. But if you will just allow, at some point when I fully realized the value of TNC to me, I said it na through Michelle Miras's teachings as well, na doon sa teaching it says there are 3 types of businesses, but I kind of tweaked it and said there are 4 types of businesses: our business, my business, our business, and God's business. And since then I've always allowed God to help me direct every decision that I'm doing for TNC, because it's not easy. It's not easy to chop myself to 20 plus shows right now. Top I have to be available when someone needs me. So I have
Yeah.
to, diba? I have to know who to answer, who to reply to, and I have to do that. So there is no
Mm,
social media break for me. That's why I have to make sure that whatever it is doing is being done for good.
mm,
And now also, I realize there are really so many bad things that you can see on social media,
mm,
from bad content to content that will really make other people feel bad about themselves.
mm,
um, it means that the purpose of social media is not being observed properly. The purpose of YouTube, for example, is not the purpose of YouTube is being abused. The
mm,
purpose of Facebook is being abused. Now, as responsible individuals, how are we going to contribute? How are we going to contribute so that we will be able to use this platform properly and and continue to expose our children to these platforms, even if we know that it's such a huge marketplace, diba?
mm,
You'll never know when they can commit
mm,
sin on it. Like we've seen so many people, you know, na nagkakaroon ng depression, 'di ba? Before pa naman, pero ngayon mas magnified, 'di ba? Because people can already express themselves on social media, not just on Twitter. Dati kasi sa Twitter lang lahat 'yan, 'di ba? Ngayon in all platforms, they can freely express themselves in ways they can. But sometimes the responsibility on doing it and is lost. And so I'm hoping that that becomes part of the objectives of TNC. That
mm,
we become a channel for people to look at, things are normal. Whatever it is that you're
mm,
going through is could be normal because others are also going through the same. And when you find those people, kahit hindi mo sila kilala, you can relate to those people.
mm,
So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do more of those content and content that will really bring out and transform businesses and even individuals who are also patronizing us and
mm.
appreciating the things that we're doing.
Hmm. Thank you, Apple. Ang tanong ko lang is, what's in the pipeline for 2023? However, listening to you, parang feeling ko you're already talking about building a legacy. Like, I can imagine, no, as I was listening to you, PNC celebrating 30th year anniversary or 50th year anniversary. So, tama ba ako na you want, if possible, PNC to outlive you? Tama ba?
Sana, sana,
Or at least the purpose of PNC, to outlive you.
sana, sana, Jen. Sana I can count on you to do that. Whoever goes to heaven ahead, will count on each other that we will continue this good thing that we have done. Because I would like people to remember whatever it is that we have done on TNC as something that's really good, something that's really great, something that really showcases Filipino talent, ingenuity, and global competence. And that's who we are. We don't want to be known as someone who's peddling fake news. We don't want to be known as someone who's peddling pornography on social media or on YouTube. We don't want to be known as someone who just shows a day in the life of someone na iniinggit mo yung ibang tao. We want to be known as someone who listens to them and uses our voices to talk about something that will make sense, not just for us, to express ourselves, but also to have, a shoulder to cry on virtually, a shoulder to rely on virtually, and a group, a community that's welcoming everyone. So yeah, could be ideal, could be legendary, depending on what's your perspective. Basta ako, I just say what's in my heart at the moment that I'm saying it. And I just pray that it doesn't change. Because there are really days when it's just so hard, Jen, when you're facing difficulties and problems. You'll come to a point pa rin where you say, why am I doing what I'm doing? I mean,
Mm-mm.
why am I working so hard for something that, will this give me wealth? Will this allow me to go travel to Paris? Yung mga ganon, di ba? Maybe at this point, not. But whenever I see you and the other hosts who feel accomplished because it it multiplies them. Parang allowing themselves to be on a show multiplies who they are, and it multiplies their businesses as well. I think kung yun yung perspective ko, na-accomplish yun eh. So, I guess it's serving its purpose. And you can just imagine, if I'm able to explain this to many people, and those many people can understand and can relate to what I'm saying, then, di ba, we will make a difference. We will make a difference for sure. So, life ain't perfect. I am not perfect, but I know that we're doing something here that benefits other people aside from ourselves. So I just hope that more people will look at it also the way we are looking at our platform, so that they get the benefit of what we can do as well.
Mhm.
Saka
Thank
syempre,
you.
Jen, I want my son to be proud of what I'm doing.
Ay,
Sana.
oo
And
naman. Oo.
yeah, so
Mm-mm.
sana may gawin, 'di ba? Na yung kumbaga whatever happens, you know that you contributed in making
Mhm.
that part of um, history. But again, I'm not looking at it that way right now.
Mhm.
I'm looking at this thing that we're doing one step at a time. Whatever opportunity there is, if we think that we can do it, we can afford it, then we grab it. But if we think that too where far ahead from where we are, meaning hindi na natin siya kayang gawin, then we won't force it.
Mhm.
As much as possible, I'd like to go with, as said, it's a community, it's a charity work for most part of it right now. So if that's the case, then you can't also put all your efforts just solely there, di ba? Kasi
Mhm.
mauubos ka, di ba? You have to find the way on how to refill yourself as well.
Mhm. This has been a very beautiful discussion, Apple.
Thank you, Jen.
Nakakatuwa na marinig yung accomplishments again natin. Although I'm already aware of it, pero maganda na we are reminded so that it adds boost din, di ba? Lalo pag sinasabi mo nga na, oh nga no, ano nga ba nakukuha ko dito? Ano ba yung return? Parang napapagod lang ako. But then again, you realize, ano pala yung bigger purpose mo, bakit mo to ginagawa. So, how can our viewers continue to know about your work? How can they follow you on social media?
Nako, don't follow me on social media. Follow Jen. I'm
Ayun,
not,
tama-tama, di
I'm
ba
not the ano
Christmas?
here.
Oh, profit
I'm not
pop-up.
the star. I'm not the star of the show, and I'm not the star of TNC. The hosts are the star of TNC. They are the one working so hard to create their content. I'm just the enabler. I'm just contributing to what they're accomplishing, but they're really the hard workers. So I give credit to them. Like for stories from the Fringe, it's really Jen. Like more than the people, more than me, it's also the team, who's working so
Mhm.
hard to support Jen, to make sure that whenever she needs a poster, whenever she needs her caption and the new hashtags and everything, it's there, it's available. It's them, it's not me. I'm just the enabler. So the Lord just uses me to become a channel for all these things that we're doing accomplished. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do stories from the Fringe if not for Jen. I wouldn't be able to do TNC if not for the hosts of TNC. So
Mhm.
TNC is really built on that community that we have. That's how important it is. But of course, as they say, it's also important to have someone who you can count on, and just know that that person is there not to take the limelight or the spotlight from you. And I think yun yung role ko. I'm not here to put a spotlight on myself. Because if I want, I could, right, Jen? But it's not like I don't like, but it's not my purpose. And my
Mhm.
purpose is to enable people, not to put myself in that pedestal. So
Mhm.
I will be working hard to put them into that pedestal, and I will make
Mhm.
sure that that happens in the best way I can. I will talk good. I will talk not but good about the things that they're doing, because they're really great at it, and they deserve
Mhm.
the spotlight on TNC. So um yeah, I mean, I will be busy doing and campaigning for Digital for Good for 2023 for sure, in so many ways, not just on TNC. But through Global Women Who Rule, through PuzzleBox, which we've always been doing, sa totoo lang, quietly, we've been doing that. I will still be involved in some charity works because we've also been doing that. The employees that we have on PuzzleBox know that we're very active. It's just that, we're the kind of people who don't necessarily have to publicize these things that we're doing, because we're doing this not to be famous. We're doing this to serve our purpose. So if we are already able to serve our purpose, it doesn't matter if people saw us or if people has acknowledged what we have done. Um, but of course, on that aspect, I know, Jen, people have different perspectives. And what I'm saying is my personal perspective of things. So don't get me wrong. If you say na, baka kasi others would think na, she doesn't want to be acknowledged. She doesn't want to be known. Why is she being interviewed on Jen's show? No, this is a gift to Jen for me to be on her show because she's always requested for this. Just so you know. So, yeah, and I think at some point I am also realizing that I deserve it, right, Jen? I've worked so hard as much as Jen to make her show and to make her show available and possible. She knows that. I was the right then, right, Jen? Kaming dalawa talaga yung nag-usap from the very beginning on how to make this show really possible for her. How we will be able to roll this out. So, and it to me kasi at the end of the day, Jen, yung ganon, it doesn't matter eh. It doesn't matter what started, how it started, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that yung sustainability of what you're doing. Because even if you started it right, but you're not able to sustain it correctly, I think that's a big problem. So, sustainability is one thing that we need to face in 2023 for TNC and for the other things that we're doing. And I'm hoping that because I've already embraced it, to use my voice, my talents, my talent, my skills, to enable other people. I hope that I continue to do that. That the Lord gives me good health, that I'm in perfect shape to be able to accomplish all of that. Nakakapagod, Jen, yung ginagawa namin. The directors at the backstage right now could attest, especially Rachel. She sees how difficult it is to be running four events or going to four events in one day and making yourself available and dressing up for any occasion.
Yeah.
But I think that's part of the job, and I'll embrace it so long as I see that I'm fulfilling my purpose in doing it. Pero kung hindi na or hindi pa, then of course, I'll choose to focus on things that will make sense, not just for me, but especially for all of us on team.
Mm-mm. Thank you, Apple. Thank you so much. Natutuwa naman ako. Di ba? Kasi nga, tuwing nakikita kami din ni Apple, ang dami-dami din namin ginagawa. So, this is really the first time that we had this candid conversation, di ba? And the more that I listen, the more na-appreciate ko talaga yung ginagawa mo, ginagawa ng ating creatives team, production team. And each time that I have a guest outside the Philippines, they are always gushing about the professionalism of the quality of the show. And I always tell them, no, it's not only I, kasi imposible magawa yun ng iisang tao. I'm just blessed to have a team, a community helping me. Yun. So, this is really wonderful conversation, Apple. Sayang, no? Ang bilis-bilis ng oras.
Oo nga. Sobra na nga tayo. Pinapaalis na tayo ng director.
All right. So thank you once again for dropping in on the show, sharing your background, your expertise, and also sharing your vision for the company. Thank you so much, Apple.
Thank you, Jen. I just want to thank those who watch us tonight live. Celine, who else? There are many commenters here. And then my brother is also watching, Christian from Dubai. I love you too. And thank you, Jen. Thank you so much, Jen, for the trust. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for bringing in so many nationalities through your show. Maybe you don't see me at the backstage, but I always watch the replays of your show. So for those who are looking for references for personal development, for gender equality, and also for looking for references, who you need to tap and who you need to talk to, who you need to get quotable quotes from, you should watch the replays of the shows of Jen, because she has really brought in so many personalities abroad that none has actually encountered yet in the Philippines. So Jen, thank you for enabling that. I'm so proud of your show. I wish that the other brands that were knocking on to already reply to us and see the fit to the brand, but if not yet, then maybe there's other opportunities that will open up for us. But I really look forward to you continuing this, because you're doing great and you're able to serve your purpose through the show. So thank you, Jen, for your trust. And thank you for continuing the friendship despite of the odds. You know that. And thank you for risking it. Thank you for being consistent with your stories. And thank you for sharing yourself. Every little time na naririnig kita, I know you write all these things down, and you make it also very professional, not just sounding, but professional in terms of content. So, maraming salamat, Jen. You're one of the gems of TNC, and thank you.
My pleasure. So all I can say is ad maiorem Dei gloriam, to God be the glory, not I, but let myself be diminished, but God be magnified. Yun lang din lagi ang
Jen, eh.
Oo.
Iyak ka yata.
Diba? I mean, everything that you have, your life, your talent, skills, knowledge, the people that come to your life, diba? They are God's gifts to you. Yun. And what you do with this is your gift back to God. So
Thank
thank
you,
you
Jen.
again, Apple. Wonderful, wonderful. So dear viewers, thank you so much for spending your Thursday morning with us. We hope that you have learned a lot, because I have learned a lot from Apple. And I'll see you next Thursday, December 22nd, 10:30 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. God bless everyone.